The business of vibe coding. I want to talk about something that makes people uncomfortable. Selling. Making money from what you build. Charging for your work. Asking people to pay for the thing you created. This is the part of building that most builders avoid. They love building. They love designing. They love creating. But when it comes time to charge money, they freeze. They feel guilty. They feel like they are imposing. They feel like asking for money somehow taints the purity of what they built. I understand this feeling because I had it. For the first 6 months of building apps, I gave everything away for free. Free content, free features, free access, free everything. I told myself I was building for impact, not for money. I told myself that charging would scare people away. I told myself that free was the way to grow. And while that was true in the beginning, it became a problem. Because free does not sustain. Free does not pay for servers. Free does not pay for tools. Free does not pay school fees. Free does not create a sustainable business. Free is a gift. But gifts need to be funded by something. The turning point came when I realized that charging for your work is not greedy. Not charging is greedy. Let me explain. When you give everything away for free, you are saying that your work has no value. And if your work has no value, why should anyone take it seriously? If your financial education platform is free, people assume the education is worth what they paid. Nothing. If your challenge is free, people assume the challenge is easy. If your content is free, people assume the content is not worth investing time in. Price is a signal. It tells people how much you value what you built. And it tells them how much they should value it. When I charged 47 euros for my 5-day challenge, the completion rate tripled compared to when it was free. People who paid completed the challenge. People who did not pay abandoned it. Not because paid users were better people. Because they had skin in the game. They invested something. And when you invest, you pay attention. When you pay attention, you complete. When you complete, you get results. And when you get results, you tell others. That was the lesson. Charging money was not just about revenue. It was about results. People who pay get better results. And better results lead to better testimonials. And better testimonials lead to more customers. And more customers lead to more revenue. The cycle starts with having the courage to charge. So how do you build a business around vibe coding? Let me walk through the models. The first model is what I call the product model. You build an app. You charge for it. One-time payment or subscription. The app is the product. The user is the customer. The value is the app itself. This is the simplest model. You build something useful. You charge for access. People pay? Done. Smart investor leader uses this model. Users pay for the challenge and the membership. The app delivers value. The user pays for value. Clean exchange. The second model is what I call the service model. You build apps for other people. You charge for the building. The app is not your product. Your building skill is your product. The client is the customer. The value is the solution you build for them. This is the freelance or consulting model. Someone needs an app. You build it. They pay you. You do not own the app. They do. But you earn money from the building process. This model is faster to revenue because you do not need to find end users. You just need to find clients who need apps. And with vibe coding, the margins are incredible. A client might pay you 2,000 euros for an app that takes you 2 days to build. That is 1,000 euros per day. Try finding a traditional developer who earns that. The leverage of vibe coding makes the service model extremely profitable. The third model is what I call the template model. You build an app. You package it as a template. You sell the template on a marketplace. Other people buy the template and customize it for their own use. You build once. You sell many times. The effort is front-loaded. The revenue is passive. This is the model I am pursuing with my B2B strategy. I have built several apps that solve common business problems: project management, meeting summarization, content repurposing. I package them as templates. I list them on the marketplace. Other businesses buy them. I earn money from each sale without doing additional work. The template model is beautiful because it combines the product model and the service model. You are selling a product that you built, but you are selling it to builders and businesses who will customize it. So you get the scalability of a product with the price point of a service. A template can sell for $50 or $500, depending on the complexity. And you can sell it hundreds of times. One template, hundreds of sales, zero marginal cost per sale. The fourth model is what I call the ecosystem model. You build multiple apps that serve the same audience. Each app solves a different problem, but they all connect. Users move between apps. Revenue compounds across apps. This is what I am building. 7 apps, each serving a different dimension of life: financial education, fatherhood, creator economy, AI education, wealth building, children's activities, community marketplace. Each app has its own revenue stream, but the ecosystem is stronger than any individual app because users cross between them. A user who joins for financial education discovers the fatherhood app. A user who joins for the creator community discovers the AI Academy. The ecosystem creates a network effect that no single app can achieve. Now I want to talk about pricing. Because pricing is the hardest decision in business. Price too high and nobody buys. Price too low and nobody values it. Price based on cost and you leave money on the table. Price based on competition and you become a commodity. Price based on value and you create a fair exchange. I price based on value, not based on what it costs me to build, not based on what competitors charge, based on the value the user receives. My 5-day challenge costs 47 euros. The value is financial literacy that can change how someone manages money for the rest of their life. Is 47 euros a fair exchange for that value? Yes. It is not the cheapest option. It is not the most expensive. It is fair. And fair pricing builds trust, because users feel they got more than they paid for. And that feeling creates loyalty. And loyalty creates referrals. And referrals create growth. I also want to talk about marketing, because building is only half the battle. If nobody knows your app exists, it does not matter how good it is. You need marketing, but I believe in a specific kind of marketing. Honest marketing. No manipulation, no fake urgency, no manufactured scarcity, no engagement bait. Just honest communication about what you built and who it helps. My marketing is simple. I share my journey. I share what I am building. I share why I am building it. I share the results people get. I share the stories of real users. I share the lessons I learn. I do not create countdown timers. I do not say limited spots available when spots are unlimited. I do not say only 3 left when there is no limit. I do not use fear of missing out to drive sales. I use honest sharing to build trust. And trust converts better than fear. Maybe not as fast, but it converts better in the long run. Because customers who buy from trust stay. Customers who buy from fear leave when the fear fades. Here is my marketing framework. 3 steps. First, I share what I built. Here is the app. Here is what it does. Here is who it is for. Second, I share why I built it. Here is the story. Here is the problem I saw. Here is the solution I created. Third, I share the results. Here is what users say. Here is how the app changed their experience. Here is the transformation. That is my marketing. Build, share, repeat. No funnels, no scrapes, no manipulation, just honest sharing. Over and over, day after day. And over time, the right people find you and the wrong people filter themselves out. I also want to talk about the affiliate model as a business strategy, not just as a marketing channel, as a business model. When I give 60% commission to affiliates, I am essentially partnering with them. They become co-owners of the distribution. They are not just promoting my app, they are invested in its success because their income depends on it. And that investment produces a level of commitment that no paid advertising can match. My affiliate program is my growth engine. I do not spend money on ads. I do not pay for clicks or impressions. I pay for results. 60% of the sale goes to the affiliate only when a sale happens. Zero upfront cost, zero risk, pure performance-based growth, and the affiliates who do well earn significant income, which attracts more affiliates, which creates more promotion, which creates more sales. The flywheel spins, and it all started with the decision to give away 60% instead of keeping it all. Some people think giving away 60% is too much. They say you are devaluing your product. You are teaching people that your product is worth less than it is. I disagree. I am not devaluing the product. I am valuing the distribution. The product is worth what the customer pays. The distribution is worth what the affiliate earns. They are different things. The product creates value for the user. The distribution creates value for the affiliate. Both are worth paying for. And when you pay well for distribution, you get more of it. And more distribution means more customers. And more customers means more revenue, even at 40% of each sale. Because 40% of something is better than 100% of nothing. Let me share one more business principle that I have learned. The principle of compounding. Not just money. Everything. Users compound. Revenue compounds. Content compounds. Skills compound. Relationships compound. Everything you do in building compounds over time. The first month you might have 10 users and 20 euros. The second month you might have 25 users and 60 euros. The third month you might have 50 users and 150 euros. The growth seems slow, but it is compounding. And compounding is exponential, not linear. It starts slow, then it accelerates, then it explodes. The key is to survive the slow part, the part where it feels like nothing is happening, the part where most people quit, because they expected linear growth and got exponential growth that had not started yet. I survived the slow part because I had the ask framework. I kept seeking. I kept asking. I kept knocking, even when the numbers were tiny, even when the revenue was zero, even when nobody seemed to care. I showed up every day and I built and I shared and I knocked. And eventually the compounding started. Slowly at first, then faster. Then it felt like everything was happening at once. That is how compounding works. It rewards patience. It punishes quitting. And vibe coding lets you survive the slow part because the cost of building is so low that you can afford to be patient. Let me share one more thing before we close. When I first started charging for my apps, I was terrified of the reaction. I thought people would be angry. I thought they would say you are greedy. I thought they would leave. So I sent an email to my community. I said, I have been giving everything away for free for 6 months. I have loved doing it, but I need to start charging because I need to sustain the work. The challenge will be 47 euros. If that is too much, I understand, and you are welcome to stay on the free tier. No judgment, no pressure. I just wanted to be honest with you about why things are changing. I sent that email and I waited for the backlash. And you know what happened? Nothing bad. People responded with support. They said, of course you should charge. They said, we have been wondering why you do not. They said 47 euros is more than fair. And within the first week, 23 people paid. Not one person complained. Not one person left. The fear was entirely in my head. The community was ready. I was the one who was not ready. That is the lesson. Your fear of charging is not about your customers. It is about you, your relationship with money, your worthiness, your fear of being seen as greedy. Do the work on yourself, then do the work for your business. The customers are waiting. They want to pay you. They just need you to ask. If you want to learn how to build a business around your apps, join me at 7D AI Academy. I teach not just how to build, but how to sell, how to price, how to market, how to create a sustainable business from your creations. Search for 7D AI Academy online and start building your business today. I am Smarty, and this has been episode 15 of Vibe Coding with Purpose. We are 1/3 of the way through. 35 more episodes to go. In the next episode, we are going to talk about failure, how to fail at building apps, and why failure is the best thing that can happen to you. See you there.